Hi, welcome to another video. Let's see. I'm not gonna make a long video. I'm gonna try to keep it short. Hope I don't get any brain farts. Okay. Anyway, in this video, I'm gonna be talking about two topics. The first topic is a cult, and the second topic is um, having a socializing with people from kindergarten all the way up to high school and college. And after high school and college, after you get out of high school and college, you'll be in a bubble. Okay, cults. And I found something about the word cult on Wikipedia. Okay, a cult is a small group which is typically led by a charismatic and self appointed leader who tightly controls its members, requiring unwavering devotion to a set of beliefs and practices which are considered devoted outside the norm of society. Okay, and I'm going to read more. This term is also used for a new religious movement or other social group which is defined by its unusual religious, spiritual, or philosophical beliefs or rituals, or its common interest in a particular person, object, or goal. Okay, cults, cults, or cult. Yeah, as I look at it, a cult is basically, just a group of people, a small group of people who worship the same thing and believe in the same thing. And if like for instance, like if someone comes up and bashes something that the cult, a small group of people like, that group of people will attack that person. I hope that makes any sense. I'm just gonna say it like this. I think the cult, a cult of people, a group of people, a cult. I think those people in that group, they don't think for themselves. They don't think outside the box. They just believe in the same thing. They look at a certain thing, they look at a thing that they believe in, a thing that they support and believe in, and they don't have their own thoughts. They all think the same, and I don't want to be in a cult because people who are in cults are just basically drones. They're just basically robots. They just they you know they're just basically just brain dead human beings. Who just don't have their own mindset. You know, I like I like people who have their own thoughts and beliefs. And they're free thinkers. I mean, those are the type of people I like. People who are in a cult. You know, I don't like those people because they're not free thinkers, and they're not. Okay, okay, that's the end of that topic. Okay, the second topic is let's see, you know, being in a bubble after you after you leave high school and college. Okay, you know, when we were little kids, when we were in kindergarten, when we first go to like kindergarten or preschool, you know, we meet other children who are like us, and talking to people and talking to other children, forming friendships with other children, you know, it was easy. You can just go and just meet meet another kid and be friends with that kid just like that. It was simple. And also when if you were a boy or a girl, you had a crush on you had a crush on a yeah, you had a crush on somebody. Okay, like for instance, if you were a boy, you had a crush on a girl, or if you're a girl, you had a crush on a boy, or if you were either a boy or a girl, another boy and another girl had a crush on you, and it was easy, and then when you grow up, like you get into elementary school, and it was still easy to talk to form friendships with other children and talk to other children. And you had like being bullied and picked on. You had that went on. Then you get into junior high. The first part of junior high. It was the same as back in elementary school. But as you get deeper and deeper into like junior high or high school, um, you know, you know, cliques start to form, and you know how cliques are, people are huddled in a clique, and they push out outsiders who aren't like them, and you know, being a popular kid in school, the popular kid was cool, and the nerd and the outcast wasn't cool. The outcast and the nerd was picked on and bullied if they have a speech impediment, if they didn't look right, they walk strange, for being different. They were bullied and picked on and spit on, and that went on and on and on. But it wasn't that bad. If you look into that, it was still easy to like, I don't know, like I think back in the like in the I think in the like back in the 70s and in the early 80s, and in the deeper part of junior high and into high school, you know, there weren't any cliques and people didn't judge you. They didn't look down on you. They accept you for who you are. You know, and it was easy to make friends and to socialize with the other kids. But you couldn't talk to everybody. There's some people you could talk to. There's some people you couldn't talk to. And it is what it was. It wasn't. It's totally different today. I don't know. You know, junior high and high school, and elementary school today and it's just different. People. Kids look at their phones. You know, they go on social media. They're subjected to a lot of crazy bad stuff online. That's that parents have to worry about them. They'll meet some bad person online, some awful person online that will affect their mental health and all. All kinds of stuff. Stuff that didn't exist when I went to school. Yeah, but the social atmosphere in junior high and high school and kindergarten kindergarten and elementary school was all right. And you graduate from high school, you go into college. um, you still can socialize with people in college, but after you leave high school and college, you're in a bubble. You're in a bubble. You just can't yeah, you can't socialize with strangers anymore like you did when you were in school. Kindergarten, elementary school, junior high, and high school. During those years and times, yeah, you can socialize with people and form friendships and make friends with people. But after you leave all of that, you're in the bubble. You get married, you have a spouse, you have children, you got a job, you work all the time, you don't socialize with strangers anymore. You just talk to your spouse and your children, and that's about it. And friends, if you had any, back in school and college. Yeah, and all you do is just work and consume. You don't talk to people unless it's for business related purposes. You just work, consume, follow the rules, pay bills, pay taxes. And in American society or culture, I'll say American culture expects you to be married. You have a spouse, you have children. In the end, that's just how it is. And to me it really sucks. You're an adult. If you're single, you're alone, you're isolated. You can't talk to strangers. Like, you just yeah, you can't go out in America and just meet people. It doesn't work that way. You just can't just go out and just form friends, just start talking to people and meet people and form friendships. Like, it doesn't work that way, like it did back in school. When you were in like you were in grade school and college. You know, being in the real world, being an adult in a bubble. You know, you just can't just go up to anybody and talk to anybody, because you have people who just don't want to have anything to do with you, who don't want to talk to you. If you want a girlfriend, if you're a guy, you want a girlfriend. If you want to meet women and girls, the women and girls are stuck up and defensive and picky. You know, and women don't giggle and blush like real women do. You know, you have very defensive and paranoid, narcissistic, picky, toxic women and girls. And the manly women aren't aren't that great at all. So I hate to say it, but you know, you're single, you're in a bubble, you're out of school, you're just alone for the rest of your life. If you're in your 20s and 30s, you're just alone. But I'm here to tell you this, you can go abroad. You can leave the United States, you can leave North America and just move to a country where you can socialize with strangers, where you can you can form friendships, you can meet people, you can form friendships with men and women. I mean, you can meet women and girls, and get a girlfriend slash wife out of those women and girls in a country that believes that believes in social and human connection. You can get that. But yeah, and that's good. But here in the U.S., they people, you got people say that, people change. People are not going to be the same anymore. People are going to be different. And, and they tell you, keep trying and keep trying on when you talk. God bless you and all of that. And yeah, they say that everything, people change, and you can't go back to the old days here in the United States. You can't go back to the days where women were feminine, and people believe in social and human connection in the 70s and early 80s. You can't go back to those times because times change. Everybody's different. But I got news for you. You can go to a country that is kind of like back in the day in the US. You can go to a country that's like that, like countries like, Latin American countries, Peru, Colombia, Costa Rica, you know, and other countries that are like it. You can go to countries that still believe in how things were back in the old days in the US. You can go to those countries. So you don't have to settle with how things are in the US. You have to live in a neighborhood where people don't go outside and people don't socialize with one another. Everybody just keep to themselves, and they want you to keep to yourself. And the only time you'll talk to people or strangers is for business or asking for directions. And that's about it. Yeah, you know, you can go to a country where you can meet people and form friendships. You can go to a country that believes in social freedoms, and a country where you can be yourself. You can go to a country that's like that. You can get out of the US matrix and just head overseas for a better social life. And you got these people, who talk about, like, talk about how like how bad society is, and we can improve society here in the US. We can change the US and make the US a better place. And these people who talk about that are just spinning their wheels. They're not offering anything because you can't change the US. The US is going to be the same forever and ever and ever, and there's nothing you can do about it. You know, and the US is a sinking ship. So just get off the sinking ship and just get on a boat that's not sinking. Yeah, just leave the United States, leave North America, and just go abroad. You know, you you know things are so much better overseas, and I see how things are overseas. The social vibe, the social vibe is different. The society is different. Everything is different abroad. Everything's completely different from the U.S. And someone say this, if you go to a better country where the people are better, the food is better, the women are better, and society is better, you go and stay in that country like for 1 or 2 years or even more. Then you go back to the U.S., come back to this country, and it's just like it's like going from sugar to shit. When you leave a better country that's better than the U.S. and come back to the U.S., like it's just going from gold to rubbish to garbage. It just you go through that. It just hits you like a ton of bricks. And and you're used to like how that decent country is. You come back to the U.S. and you think that country that you're in, and you think everything in the U.S. is like that country that you're in, and you come back and it's not like that. Like, and I went through that when I left abroad. When I left Southern Europe and Western Asia, and yeah, when I went on a cruise and came back here, it was just different. I just saw just how cold and lifeless people in America were, how crazy and weird they were, how out there they were. Like, and people were rushing. I was at JFK in New York, and some woman just came back, coming through. I gotta get out of the way. Excuse me. She just came by me and just rushed. And and when I was abroad, it wasn't like that. It's just different. And it sucks. Just leaving a country that's so much better than the U.S. Leaving that country and just coming back here. Yeah, and I'm doing my best to get away from anything that's American related. I don't care about Donald Trump and Joe Biden being matching up in a presidential debate, and Donald Trump coming back to the White House and voting. I don't care about that, and I'm not gonna vote. I gave up on voting because voting is a waste of time. Because it does like what I'm voting for. Like it doesn't affect my life or anything. Because my life is gonna go on as usual after the election. Because voting is basically a charade. You got to choose between the Democrats and the Republicans, and they're both of these political parties are serving the same interests. They're both serving the status quo, and it is. So I don't care for all of that. And it kind of bothers me that I'm isolated from everybody and I just can't socialize with anybody. The only time I socialize with people is for business or or a doctor's appointment, and that's about it. And you got people who will tear you down here in the U.S. and bring you down and say you're not going to amount to anything, and they bring up stuff that you did in the past, which a toxic society drove you to do. And it's a breath of fresh air when you go abroad. You go to another country, and all the pain and all the misery and and all the and the anger and the craziness of the toxic society here in the U.S. that drives you to do something that you regret, like you went and just did it anyway, like that, and it drove you to do that. Like you just go abroad, and all of that just disappears. Like that dark cloud is gone, and you just start to feel good about yourself. You start to act normal. You start to be a normal person. You, I mean, you. I mean, you. I mean, there's no need for you to be shy anymore. There's no need to. There's no need for you to be afraid of people. There's no need for you to be angry and bitter and go crazy and talk about politics and talk about how bad the United States is. Like all of that's gone. Like you can just be yourself. You can be the real you, because when you were in United when you were in the US, the real you was a prisoner. But when you go abroad to a saner, better country, the real you is free. You're free to be the real you, because you have social freedoms and the freedom to be yourself. Something that you lack here in the US. So, and I'm not gonna say that, going abroad, I'm not gonna say that, all countries. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that all countries are perfect. You know, some countries aren't sociable. Some are, some aren't. But the ones that are sociable are the countries for you. And those type of countries are for me, like sociable countries that believe in social human connection, that has social freedoms and the freedom to be yourself. Those are the type of country. Well, that's the type of country that I want to go to. And I hope I successfully have a job and save my money and plan on what country I want to live in, and just leave the U.S. for good. I hope that goes well for me. So good luck on me on that. So well, I just hope you guys hear what I'm saying in the video. If you guys barely hear what I'm saying, feel free to drop a comment. You know, maybe I'm not close to the microphone as I speak, and I hope you guys hear what I'm saying. If you don't, just leave a comment. Just let me know. I'm not gonna get angry or anything. So anyway, well, yeah, so it, so social and human connection, social freedoms, the freedom to be yourself. That's not in the U.S., but that's in one of the countries abroad. So yeah, and also before I end this video, I noticed something. The children, the little kids here in the U.S. Children. I'm gonna say children. I don't know about teenagers, but I noticed children. It seems to me that the children are adults, and the adults are children. You got adults, grown men and women. Some of them run around. They don't know how to act. They don't know how to talk to people. They're antisocial. You know, they act strange. They don't talk to anybody. They got issues. You got some people who hate people. They don't want to be around people. And you just got a bunch of adults here in the USA. Just they just don't know how to act. They don't. I mean, they got poor communication skills. And you look at the children. I mean, the children are talking to one another. They act like adults. Like for instance, like a little girl, if she's constipated, like she can go to the doctor and just act mature and tell the doctor what's wrong with her. And you don't see that in a grown man or a grown woman or any grown man or grown woman or any adult here in the US. It's like the adults they're just children. Like the adults are children and the children are adults. And and I ain't gonna say all the children here in the U.S. are mature. Some of them are, some of them aren't. I mean, when I was on a cruise ship, I was in a jacuzzi, with two little German boys, a boy and his brother, and they were acting like adults. They were well behaved. They weren't like acting crazy and causing mischief or anything. They were just mature. And they were talking to each other in German. It was just crazy. But anyway, here in the US, the children are mature and the adults are immature. And it's crazy. Like a little boy or a little girl can speak better than I do. Like it's crazy. Like I get into an argument, almost into an argument, with a nurse at a hospital. And I'm trying to tell this nurse what I want. I tell this nurse that I'm trying to schedule a doctor's appointment. The nurse gives me a hard time, or the nurse doesn't tell me a thing. Like a nurse will call me and just tell me, Mr. Something, give me your date of birth. You don't know what this is all about. You ask the nurse, excuse me, what is this all about? And the nurse just interrupts you and just keep talking and arguing with you. It's going crazy with you, and that doesn't happen with children in the U.S. They just talk to each other. They don't argue with anybody. I don't know. That's just me. It just doesn't make any sense. But I guess when you're in a bubble after you get out of high school and college, like you're just in a bubble. You don't talk to anybody. If you talk to someone, it's basically for business related purposes. You just can't have a civilized conversation with another adult, because you'll get into an argument with an adult. Like the adult will interrupt you, cut you off. Then we try to talk. The adult will do this, acting like they can't hear what you're saying. And that happens to me sometimes. It angered me in the past, but I just don't let it get to me. Because you just got some people out there in the U.S., adults, a man or a woman, or any man or a woman in the U.S. You just got those type of people in the U.S. are just a bunch of idiots. And I told my dad this. My dad said this. Oh, it's just you. It's just you who think that. Well, There's some people out there who are like me, who think like me. So I'm not the only one. Yeah, and yeah, the U.S. just loves. I mean, the U.S. they just love to gaslight you and fill your head up with BS. And, like in the word antisocial or antisocial, um, psychiatrists or psychologists here in the U.S. take that word and make it out as they tell you that that word means you're violent. You're violent. No, antisocial or antisocial, however you want to say, however you want to say it, it means that you don't like to socialize with other people. You're not a sociable person. You don't like to talk to people. You're not violent. Antisocial, antisocial. That doesn't mean that. Doesn't mean violence. It mean you're a violent person. It means that if you're an antisocial person or antisocial person, it means that you don't like to socialize with other people. You don't want to talk to other people. You're not a, yeah. You don't believe in social or human connection. That's what antisocial means. So someone who says that someone is antisocial or antisocial, meaning that they say that if you're violent, they're lying. They don't know what they're talking about. Yeah. And they're just ridiculous thing that I hear from certain people. They say that, oh, you gotta love yourself. You gotta love yourself. Or you gotta love yourself. If you can't love yourself, then you can't love others. Or love yourself. And that doesn't make any sense. Because when someone tells you, oh, you gotta love yourself, means you gotta kiss yourself, hug yourself, and try to kiss yourself. It doesn't make any sense. If you want love, you gotta get love from another person. Yeah, if you get love from that other person, then you can love yourself. You just can't just love yourself all on your own and expect someone to love you. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. And if someone believes in that, then they're idiots. I mean, I don't know what to say, because I don't believe in that, because it's ridiculous. It's stupid. Well, anyway, I think I rambled long enough, so I'm gonna kill the video. All right, thank you for watching this video, and I hope you have a nice day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world watching this video. So yeah, this is the New Manchester saying cheers and au revoir. Take care. Bye.